Hey everyone, Jim here, Boots and Whiskey Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This is going to be the first of like 6 episodes that we're putting out, depending on how you're watching this or listening to this or whatever. Um, we're doing 6 episodes. We're going to do 2 episodes today, 2 episodes tomorrow, 2 episodes on Sunday, and then we're going to go back to our normal everything on Tuesday. Uh, yeah. I know this feels like a major dump, and I apologize for that. All of these conversations that you're going to see over the next couple of days are all ones that are worth listening to. Um, it just happened that I suck. It is what it is. But Danny Spiro is here today. It just so happens we have 3 girls, 3 guys to go through. Yeah, right? 3 girls, 3 guys we're going to do all weekend. So a guy and a girl this weekend. Oh my God, today, tomorrow, Sunday. I'm going off the tangent. But this is a conversation. Honestly, like I listened back to it a little bit, and I wish I would have done more with this conversation when we had it. Danny's a great dude. I love his story. Um, he's a cool fucking dude, man. He really is. And it's cool to call him a friend. Apologize, Danny, that this took so goddamn long to come out. And I'm going to apologize to everybody on this because I, I suck. I suck. Other things come up, like it is what it is. But I didn't want these episodes to not see the light of day, because realistically, I could have did that too, and I don't think that's fair. So Danny Spiro's here. Sit back, relax, and enjoy, and we'll see you on the flip side, guys. Cheers. Like I saw the notification, I was like, shit. She
No,
obviously didn't send her an email.
it's cool, dude.
It's all
It's
good. It's
cool.
all good. What's going on, man?
Good, man. I'm good. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man. It's I love fucking talking to people that I've interacted with and I guess just never talked to, really. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Oh, yeah.
So where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from the Gulf Coast, so Mobile, Alabama, as they
Okay.
call it, LA, Lower Alabama, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And are you in Nashville now?
Oh, yeah. So I actually just had my Nashville anniversary on the 7th this month, so it's kind of
Nice.
cool. Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
How long you been there now?
Uh, 10 years. I made my 10-year town, man.
There you go, man. You know it
Woo!
you know it isn't that the weirdest thing?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know,
It's
10,
it's a funny
10
statement.
right. To have and like going into it knowing that, right? Knowing that
Oh
it's
yeah.
probably gonna be at least a decade,
But
right?
I understand what they're coming from because there is a lot more to this business than most people think when they first get into it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there's so many roads to take and so many mistakes to make and so
Yeah.
many nights of having to really find your way into this business. So I do understand because like it's not so just all right, play on this stage and if you get good enough, you're famous.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah. So I do get what they're saying. I think it's a statement saying, make sure that you find your way,
Right.
whether it's songwriting, performing, there's so many that
Right.
I get what they mean by that because it took me about 10 years to get to where I am
Right. Right. Right.
at.
It's just and it's I mean this what I do, right, is not anywhere near what you do, right? But like
Oh
even
no,
in
you're in the
this
entertainment business.
right, even in this space it takes fucking forever. Like,
Oh yeah.
I honest to God, like I'm one of those people where, like, I have ADHD pretty bad for an adult, and I'm an only
hmm
child, so like I want that instant gratification, right? Right?
Oh yeah, I hear you.
And
I hear you.
I've had episodes that I thought for sure were gonna just send us to the fucking stratosphere,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
they do well. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, oh, not as well as I thought, or it didn't put me in the place
Oh
I thought it was gonna put me. You know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, it's funny. We always joke about this. Is that the videos and clips that we put our heart and souls into, and all the editing and this money spent on it. doesn't get a single click. But then
No,
the one where I'm just showing my goofy self on my cell phone all of a sudden hits well. And I'm
yeah,
like, I feel like, go figure,
yeah,
man. You just,
and like
yeah,
really, that's the way it is. Like that, I've never got into you know the big editing anything. Like I don't edit any of these episodes. I don't,
right,
I put them together, right? So that, there's an intro, an outro, and then the conversation. But
right.
you know, even like some of the shit I'll put out there on TikTok or whatever, like yesterday, as we're talking, John Moreland and Zach Bryan are having their back and
They're
forth,
having that feud.
right?
Yeah,
They're pissing match, right? And like all I did was simply just post John's Instagram story videos, and like
right.
it's out of control. Like how many views and likes, and it's like what the fuck? Like what is
I know.
like what is like it's almost like what is wrong with you people? Like it's great
Well,
content, but it's like why does the vast majority of people give a shit so much?
I think chaos is
Yeah,
great for people's pages. So,
yeah,
like, I think it's great to get a bunch of comments saying how much they love you. And then I think it's just as good to get a bunch of comments saying they
yeah,
hate you,
absolutely.
because it seems to create more and more engagement.
Right, right,
So it's almost like the more controversial, than, oh, yeah, let's do it.
right.
Like,
It's that old saying, um, there's no such thing as bad press,
100%.
right?
And
Like,
this just is new press. It's a new
right,
way to get press. I mean, and
right,
it really is right. Like, I've seen pages that get a ton of hate, but at the same time, they're making money on the page because there's so much engagement.
right,
So it's,
right,
it's tricky, man. It
right.
is. It's
And like,
tricky.
it's funny you say that because like a guy like me, like I love to push the envelope. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
will I will push it till it cuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like there's some times where it's like, oh, how far do I want to take this?
Yeah, I have moments like that. Like, the first two songs I put out are basically sex and drug songs.
Nice. Those are the
And
best ones.
right, but at the same time, as I was about to release, it's called Her Favorite Color. I was like, oh man, I'm actually about to release a song like this. Like, what does this really mean? And I never even thought about it until like right before we released it. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, so this is not like a song that's gonna be accepted by the people that don't like non-suggestive lyric kind of
Right.
thing.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
like, and you can get labeled as like that type of artist, and it does make it harder in a way. It
Right.
really does. Like, there are gigs that booking agencies won't respond to because of one song.
Right.
So, I mean, I love to push the envelope because I do that in writing too. Like, I like to be as fearless as I can when I'm writing songs, because I was always a big like Red Dirt Texas country fan growing up,
Yeah.
so, and all those guys did not care
No,
about,
they don't give a fuck. They don't
yeah,
care at all.
radio play, so like,
Right.
but I loved that because a lot of those songs are very real, like very real, sometimes so dark, but they're beautiful.
Right.
And I always wanted to be one of those artists that can do that, write about suggestive things, but do it in poetry like they do,
Yeah.
not so much just in your face, blah, 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 blah,
Right.
blah. Yeah. So,
Right.
like, I wanted to find a way to do that. But at the same time, I was like, wait a minute, I might be listed as an artist that won't be accepted by the masses.
Right.
But at the same time, I've learned you can't worry about that, because the only thing you can be in this business to really get to greatness is authenticism.
Oh yeah.
You
Absolutely.
can't be like everybody else. Like, Morgan, everyone wants to be like Morgan Wallen. Well, he already exists. He beat
Right.
you.
Right.
There's already a Morgan Wallen. There's already a Luke Combs. So
Right.
you have to find that you as an
Yeah.
artist and a songwriter. So yeah, I do love pushing it to the envelope, but I do understand why artists are a little bit hesitant over it. I do. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just insane, so I
I
might
mean,
as well show
who's
all my colors.
who's that guy? I can always I never like I know who he is. I close my eyes, I can see him, I can sing all of his songs. Um, but he's kind of got that, where he's I don't want to call him like the Weird Al of country music, but he has all those songs
Well,
that have.
Wheeler,
Yes, thank you.
Wheeler,
Yeah,
yeah,
Wheeler Walker Jr.
Wheeler.
Right, right, and like you know, not to pull the curtain back too far, but like anybody that has half a brain knows that that's an act, right?
Yeah, 100%. He's a
But the
comedian.
but the songs are fucking awesome. Like
Oh yeah.
forget about everything else. Like the songs themselves are fantastic.
Yes, they are. He has an incredible band too that plays
Right,
with them. Those guys are all touring like with big musicians.
right.
And from what I'm told, his concerts musically are amazing.
Yeah, that's what I've heard
So,
too.
so it is crazy, you know,
Like
because you listen.
I would love to see him. Like he's come up here and played a few times, and every time he comes up here, like there's something else going
Mhm.
on. But
Right, right.
I would like that's a show like I need to see.
Yeah, I would like to see that because I want to see. I'm sure it's this mix between like seriousness and hilarious, you know, like
Right.
and a really funny act. And I'm a big stand-up comedian fan, so I
Yeah.
would love to see country music in that like
Right.
that atmosphere, that aspect. I think that'd be really cool.
Right. Because I know a few people that have like open shows for him, and
Hmm.
like people will come up to them and be like, like as much as Wheeler was great, like it was also nice to have that like balance of like, all right, a
Hmm.
seriousness to it too.
Yeah, yeah. I think in a way that's throwing a lot of respect towards country music and
Absolutely.
musicianship in general. So even
Right.
though he wants to joke around and put a comedy show on, he does still respect the craft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and
And especially
and
the way
I
he
do
crafts his
appreciate that.
songs.
Exactly. They're very traditional country.
Right.
They're very, yeah, everything. Like I said, the band's incredible, but it's recorded very well,
Yeah.
where it's not this overproduced recordings. Like I really do appreciate artists that do stick to the more traditional sound.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. If there needs to be samples in a song because it sounds cool and it fits the song, cool.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
I just don't want to ever overdo it in any of my songs.
Yeah.
I don't
No.
want to have to rely like I don't know how to rely on if like the majority of the song is a sample track.
Right.
I've never been used to that. I've always played with full bands.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate the more full band stuff. But like I said, if there's a need for it in a song, cool. I just don't want it to be the whole thing. And I
Right.
like how Wheeler Walker Jr. really sticks to a band
Yeah.
to make all the sounds and all like the little like ambient sounds. It's all guitars and
Right.
bass. So I've always appreciated artists that really do that. Because like Co Wetzel, I went to his concert in,
I love
this past
Co.
October. And the bands before him, some of them were using samples, and it was cool, But then I noticed that his band, did nothing but their own stuff. So
Right.
all the weird sounds and sampling stuff came from the actual instruments, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh yeah, this is
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome." So
Yeah.
it is totally doable, Like I really like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It's funny you say that because I was watching. I didn't watch the ACMs live because I had other things to do. But
Hmm.
I went back and I watched it last night, and there was a lot of things going on, and like back to pushing the envelope, right? But
Right.
there were a few, and I hate to say it this way, but there were a few female artists that I'm pretty confident were lip syncing their entire sets.
It could have been. A lot of these programs now want you to do that
Right,
for timing purposes,
right.
with the commercials and the different time slots. So, yeah, I mean, I think there were a couple guys and girls like actually singing,
Yeah, yeah,
but
absolutely,
there
absolutely.
will always be lip syncing
Yeah,
in award shows. I mean, that's just the way it is now. I think it's been that way since the '90s.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that standing joke with Alan Jackson, how he made his band play without
yeah.
like
Right,
drumsticks and stuff. So
right.
it's amazing how far back that's gone.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
really is.
It's wild that they do that. Like I get it to a
Yeah, I mean,
point.
I get it. Like I
but
understand.
you know,
Well,
um,
yeah, I do see what you're saying because if I spent the kind of money on a ticket to go to there, I want to hear the band, you know.
right,
So
exactly.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
But like going back to like your stuff and how you've kind of come along and being from Alabama and shit. I talk to a lot of people from that area of the world, and
Hmm.
you have artists coming out of Alabama and all that, and like some really really great ones,
Right.
right? But from what I'm told and what I understand, there's no music scene in Alabama.
The
Like you have
Gulf
to get the
Coast.
fuck out.
Well, the Gulf Coast is a big scene because that's like a lot of blues, jazz,
Okay,
Motown, reggae on the water, ska kind of sound. So you do have but most musicians in Alabama have to go on the road. There are so many good musicians, but not enough venues to fill them.
okay,
So, like you could be the greatest, but you're still waiting in line for your turn to the next venue.
gotcha.
So it can make it pretty hard just because of lack of venues that are available. So most of us toured like across the Gulf Coast. So we'd start in Mobile, head to Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Pensacola, Panama City, Destin. I mean, head straight down through there. Or you
Yeah,
go the other way, like towards Biloxi, Mississippi, New Orleans. Like that was kind of most of our routes down there was just
yeah,
literally around the horseshoe of the coast.
huh?
So
That's
yeah,
wild. That's
yeah,
wild
it
shit.
was wild, man. It's wild, because you're practically on the beach every show.
Right.
Can't go
So
wrong with that.
what made you say, you know what, I gotta pack my shit and go to Nashville?
I kind of what we've been talking about. I was having to go on the road a lot, and I noticed myself not progressing as much as I thought I would because there were other acts that did well in Alabama and it got them to a higher level. I just noticed that wasn't my path. So I told myself, you know what? I'd regret it for the rest of my life if I didn't take a chance to really get to Music City. I needed to understand the music business more, and that's hard to do when you're not in Nashville, to really see how this whole machine works and how the
Yeah,
wheel spins. So I said, you know what? Let me get up here. Let me give this a shot. Let me truly understand what I'm doing and the roads that I need to take in order to gain success in this business.
yeah.
So I left a gig at 3 in the morning in Mobile, got a taxi cab and headed up to Nashville and
Damn.
stayed with an old buddy of mine that used to play guitar for me down in Mobile. Him and his girlfriend had a little room over in Antioch, Tennessee, man. So it was pretty cool. And that was 10 years ago on the 7th.
That's wild.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
so when you how, are you just doing the music thing and that's it?
That's it, man. I'm writing, every other day, either by myself or with co-writes, and then the days after that I'm playing, whether I'm on the road, whether I'm down here on Music Row, Midtown, Broadway. I'm doing it every day, all day.
Wow, good for you.
Thanks, man.
So
Thank you, brother.
and not that this isn't a real job, right? Because it is, right? But what was the last time you had a non-music job?
When I moved there 10 years ago, I moved downtown and I was looking for work because I didn't know anyone. I didn't know a thing about this place. So I found a restaurant. It's like a Greek, Italian, Mediterranean restaurant called Demas's. It looks like Demos. And they were now hiring. I walked in there and got the job and started serving, became a waiter.
Yeah,
And while I was trying to like find any gig that I could get, being on the sub list and being like, oh man, I'll just take it whenever. But my managers were really cool because they told them from the beginning, hey, I might need to bolt a little earlier sometimes. And they kept their word and they were nothing
right.
but good to me. I would get a text being like, can you get to this gig in 45 minutes? And I'd tell my manager, look, I got to take this. And they'd be like, yeah. So
Yeah,
it was awesome.
that's those are the best. Those are the best managers to have. You
Oh,
know, when
100%.
they get
They
it.
were very supportive. Yeah, I think that's not their first rodeo.
Right, right.
I'm
Especially
sure
being
most
in a
of them.
city
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. So it's not their first rodeo of them coming and going. Like when the dead season starts, they're picking up shifts again. kind of thing. So I do understand, or they did understand, and I'm very appreciative of that because it gave me a base. It gave
Right,
me a home base. It gave me this, okay, at least I know I have this job. If I need to pick up shifts, I can. I lived right across from the restaurant downtown. So like my little circle was right there.
right,
And that gave me more comfort because I think in this town, it can be hard to have like a home base for yourself when all you're doing is trying to play music and pick up shifts when you can. That you can get lost
yeah,
because you're not really meeting anyone because you're so busy playing. You're not befriending. You're not like going out with your friends and learning how this town works and your coworkers. So it can be hard when the only thing you start doing at first is trying to play music.
right,
I would
right,
tell artists when they get here, get another job and actually like gain some relationships with people so
right,
you do feel like you have a home because
right.
this town's going to kick your ass, man. It's going to
Yeah,
kick your ass. And if you feel like you don't have anybody or you don't have any grounding anywhere, it's going to push you to leave.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. Now, in your time there, how much of that have you seen? Where you see people come in and, they have it. Maybe they do have it,
mm-hmm,
right? And then
mm-hmm.
they just can't handle the nuts and bolts of it.
No, I mean, in my 10 years, I've told people that I think I've seen five faces that came around the same time I did. Five. That's it. And
Yeah.
like realistically, three of them are playing music still. So yeah, it is. I've seen people with a lot of talent. I mean, beautiful voices, guitar playing, whatever it may be. And they don't understand what it really means to have to be in this business.
Yeah.
They don't understand the sacrifices and the things you cannot do that everyone else can. Like I've had to give up a lot.
Yeah. I
I
bet.
really have. There's no vacations to go on when everyone else is going. You're missing, some beautiful things in life, but that's the choice we make.
Right.
I mean, that's just the reality of this business. It's 24/7. There is no clock in, clock out in this
Right.
business. You just get a rest for a little bit, then you go back to what you're doing.
Right.
And I think a lot of people just don't even know, including myself. I didn't know what this business entailed. So I think people try it out, they realize, oh wow, this is not just playing in my hometown's bar anymore.
Right. Right.
And humility is a real thing.
Yeah. You know.
I mean,
It.
it is, man. It's a real thing, and I don't think people. You have to really have a thick skin. I mean, you're gonna get your ass kicked. You're gonna be. I said, as far as competitions, you're gonna get beaten from
Yeah.
time to time. But if you're willing to take the punches, you can create a path for yourself here. But yeah, to answer your question, probably like three people have actually still here the faces I've seen.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's like I remember when I first started this, right? There's another regional country music like website, entertainment blog, whatever you call it, right? But they only stick to like what's happening in New England.
Right.
And I was about 6 months in, maybe not, and like they sent me a message and they're like, "How are you still viable? Like we have a stronghold on this," and it's like, "How are you still sticking around?" And I'm like, "Because I'm not doing what you're doing." And I
No.
sure as hell don't want to do what you're doing because it's such a small area. Like,
Yeah, which I know a lot of musicians that prefer that.
yeah,
And that's great. If you
yeah,
make a living, you love what you're doing, that's cool. You and I just want more.
right,
Nothing
yeah,
wrong with that.
right.
But you and I just want more.
But
So, yeah.
and like to speak to what you were saying, like this industry, not even outside of musicians, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you're absolutely right. There is no time off.
No.
Like even when I'm out of town or at my day job or whatever, like I have to constantly be on the lookout for whatever is happening.
Oh yeah. Oh
Because if
yeah.
you miss it, you miss it.
Yeah, I mean, even we have to, even if we get comfortable with our shows, every year or so, we still need to put our feet back on the ground and walk around and network more.
Yeah.
Like you can never get too comfortable because if you
No.
do that, everything comes to an end eventually in this business,
Yeah.
whether it's your residency at a place that you're playing at or a contract that you have with a certain booking company. Like eventually it does stop.
Right.
And if you've put all your eggs in that basket and not grinded more to see what else is out there, then you're gonna come to a complete halt. And everyone, including myself, has made that mistake.
Yeah.
Like I have gotten way too comfortable at places before, and I'm like, oh, this is buttering my bread. Like this
Yeah.
is the hand that feeds me. I'm not worried about anything. And then one day, ending,
No.
and it's
Right.
nothing personally that you've done. It's nothing that you haven't done anything wrong. They just have a new crop of artists and roster that they want to put in,
Right.
and that's how it works. And then you have to say, "Oh, wow, okay." You can't take it personally because it's not.
Right.
You're not the only one getting cut. It's a whole set of y'all that have
Yeah.
been there for say 2 years, 3 years. So I understand what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
it's stability in this business all depends on what you're doing,
Right. Yeah.
what the
It's a
artist's
huge
doing.
learning curve.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, I've made that mistake. I got let go of a contract at one of the places downtown, and I went, oh, "That's my rent." It all hit me. I was like, "These are my bills. It's my health insurance." Like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And right then you learn, always keep your ear on the ground, always keep your feet running, always grind and network
Right.
because you just never know.
Right.
You never know.
I love that you're talking to this because there's a lot of people that don't, and won't put out
Yeah.
there like how much of a grind it is and how, these are
Oh, yeah.
things you have to do. Like it's crazy how like this industry is, especially country music is like it's like one of two things. It's either you're realistic or you have your head in the clouds.
Yeah, I mean, okay, this is what I like. Delusion is not terrible,
Okay.
not totally terrible. However, there is this fine line of delusion that you need to have.
Yeah.
You need to have that belief in those dreams that you're going to be one day a very successful artist or songwriter, but you can't be delusional the just the time of where you're at and you need to work. Like you
Yeah.
got to understand most likely it's not going to happen tomorrow. So the
Right.
only way your luck works, it's that saying about, luck comes from, the preparation. And that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Like your dreams and stuff will come true if you're doing the work in order for it to happen. And
Right.
don't get me wrong, everyone wins the lottery.
Right.
There are people that win the lottery, and you look at that and you go, oh man, like what are they doing when I'm not doing? It has nothing to do with that. They just won the lottery.
Right. Right.
Hey,
They're
that's
just
it.
like they're just in the right place at the right time.
Yup, they just happen to have some sort of universal pull where this is the contract they signed. They're superstars.
Right.
But the rest of us, I mean, I guess I wouldn't call it delusion, but you got to have faith and belief in what you're doing at the moment. And then if that delusion is what helps you get through, then by all means. But don't have this delusion of like these incredible things if you're not doing anything to put yourself there.
Sure.
Like I've had to work on the social media thing a lot, and like everyone that's become part of content now. And if you're not doing that every day, then your dreams and aspirations, and this is just for example, are not going to happen. There are
Right.
so many things that you need to do. Songwriting. If you need vocal lessons, take them. If you need guitar lessons, take them. um, co-writing as well, networking at all these writers rounds and showcases and bars downtown, and then social media. If you're not doing every single one of those aspects, you know, chances are those crazy dreams of yours aren't going to happen.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
So yeah.
you're absolutely right. You know, you really are. Like it's wild how there's so many different aspects of what you're doing that you have to have your finger on the pulse of all of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And at all times.
Right,
Like, not just take a break here, take a break there. The moment you take a break, your numbers drop increasingly in
right,
anything.
right.
Anything. So, I mean, yeah, it can be tiresome. It can be tedious, but
Yeah,
it is part of this business. And I think also a lot of artists are not willing to admit that social media is one of the most important parts of all this.
it's almost the most important part.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I hate to say that
Yeah,
sometimes,
I
but I'm
mean,
like,
because I
I
mean,
think it really is,
right?
dude.
You
You
think
know?
about, I have, being on this side of it, right? I have seen some artists that I'm like, my God, stop. But like
Hmm.
their social media is wildly successful.
And that's great. Like I said, even hate comments create engagement.
Yeah, right.
So I always appreciate when I get hate comments, dude, because I kind of laugh at them and I see if they're clever or not.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I do like those. I kind of
Yeah,
like the clever hate comments I get. It's kind of
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I've gotten some hate comments here and there, and not even like it's my hate comments for some reason don't come directly to the podcast pages. They'll go to
Hmm.
like my personal pages and talk
Yeah,
shit, and it's
yeah, yeah.
like why?
I don't
Like
know.
why go
Look,
through why go around the back when you can just go right through the front door?
I have never left a hate comment in my life,
No?
ever.
Good for
I've
you.
never left a
You're a
hate
bigger
comment.
person than most, Danny.
Well, I don't, I don't know what to say because I'm like, who the hell am I to talk, dude?
That's true.
It's not like I'm playing at the Opry this morning.
Right.
So, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know. Look, everyone's free speech is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, by all means, use it.
Yeah, it's right.
But I do get a kick out of some of the comments I get. One time I got the great value Luke Combs.
Hey, at least you're in the same sentence, right?
I was like, that's a compliment, man.
Yeah, I'll take
Like,
it.
I was
Absolutely.
like, I'll take that all day, baby. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So I've gotten a few funny ones, man. So I appreciate it. Hey, whatever gets them engaging, by all means,
Yep.
keep pushing those little type buttons, man.
Yep. Yep.
Please.
Keep
Yeah.
yeah, let the haters hate,
Please. Yeah.
It's the
Thank you.
best part of my day. So when it comes to your music, what are you working on now? What are you coming out? What are you doing with all of it?
So just released a new single on April 25th called Love Songs Lately. It is a very neo-traditional, very Texas meets 90s country meets, today's sound,
Yeah.
which I had Grady Saxman from Saxman Studios produce, and he's done all these big, I'm sure you've heard of him. He's
Oh
done
yeah.
a lot of big art, including Luke Combs. So like it was really cool being able to work with Grady. That dude's a genius, but he's a nice guy on top of that. He really sits down with the artist and breaks everything down. And yeah, it's basically like a love song. I've never put out a love song, dude. So like I said, all my lyrics are very sex and drugs. So this is kind of a new thing. Oh yeah,
I
oh
mean,
yeah.
I would argue those sex and drug ones are love songs, but that's fine.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's just because I'm.
Yeah,
But
no, we all
it is
have to
what
be
it
a
is.
little bit.
Exactly, to be in this business. But yeah, so it's basically like, when you're a single guy and you're listening, like when you're in your car and you're listening like Nirvana and all these brooding rock songs about self-hatred and all this stuff. And then you meet somebody one day, and as time goes from y'all dating, all of a sudden you notice like all those Nirvana and Stone Temple Pilots songs are now like Rascal Flatts and Josh Turner and like Tim McGraw, and you realize I've just been listening to love songs for the past like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I brought that in with this great songwriter Mason Douglas, who's written for Hardy and Kid Rock, and I was like, yeah, man, when you had that moment, it's like love songs. He goes, that's perfect. We wrote that song together very quickly, put a demo together, and right then we knew we had to put that out. I mean, it was too cool of an idea. I think it's a beautiful song, and we got it recorded, put it out the 25th, so it's doing well. So love
Yeah.
songs lately. I'm in the studio for two more um, come July and August, and we're very excited about that because I'm basically I want to showcase the versatility of me being a musician. I grew up to all types of influences because I'm from the Gulf Coast. So we
Sure.
were exposed to all the different ones. So I like being able to throw my different influences in it. So like the first two songs were more of the red dirt, harder, heavier songs. Now I'm with the love songs lately, which is very neo traditional country music, very more to the point. And these next two songs we're putting out are going to be where it bridges those gaps.
Okay.
So it's going to be pretty cool. And I really do believe that my fans are going to appreciate that because it's going to show basically the spectrum of what I'm doing as an artist.
Yeah.
So we're pretty excited about that, man. We
That's
really are.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
thanks,
awesome.
dude.
I love
Thanks,
that.
dude.
I love that. Like I've been following you now. I feel like since I started this fucking crazy ride, right?
Yeah,
And
man.
it's awesome to talk to you and get to hear your story and hear all about it. It's awesome. I love what you're
Hell
doing,
yeah.
man. And
Thank
like
you, brother.
it's I say it all the time and I have no problem saying it to people that I think can handle it. But like coming into a lot of these conversations, like you never know what you're gonna get, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And honestly, like you are a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
I feel like you're somebody that gets it.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate you saying that, man, because I think a lot of artists get to a point where they basically just regurgitate the answers.
Yes.
Because, and in their defense, there are a lot of interviews that just want that.
Yeah, and I don't want that
So,
shit.
yeah, so like when they've been through 1,000 of those where it's required to answer them like that, or they just either want that direction, I think sometimes they have a problem turning that off
Yeah.
in a way. And then
Yeah.
I think at the same time, a lot of artists are scared being themselves.
Yeah. I
There
think
is a
you're absolutely
huge
right.
difference. Yeah, like there is a huge difference between playing on stage. When you're on stage, there is this invisible wall
Yeah.
between you and the crowd.
Yeah.
So you can be yourself and be safe because of that wall. And when you step off of it and you really have to do interviews that are more in depth, more original and authentic, like yours,
Yeah. Thank you.
they can't, it's hard for them to bring it out,
Yeah.
you know? And that's the one thing I always told myself when I first started this journey is that in every interview, you're going to know who I am.
Yeah. And that's all we've ever wanted here.
Right, right. I
You
think
know?
that's what most pages and businesses and interviewers and podcasts like that's what they're really looking for.
You
And
I
I do understand though. Yeah. So I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I remember there's been times where like we'll structure our emails when we're talking to people based on like who they are.
Hmm.
Like if it's just I don't say Justin, like it doesn't matter, but if it's somebody that's newer to the business and making their way and all that, like I don't have to preface it with, "Hey, you just need to be yourself," you
Right,
know.
right, right.
But like when I get to like the more the bigger names,
Hmm.
I always feel like it's important to be like, this is about you as a person.
Oh yeah.
This I want an authentic conversation and forget about the rest of it.
Right. I think well, I know, like, the only reason, one of the biggest reasons, let me just say it, one of the biggest reasons my fan base is growing at the rate it has is because they're actually seeing who I am as a
Yeah.
person. That's the only way it works.
And you know
And
what? That's I not to cut you off, but I think
no, you're
that's
good.
what
You're good.
that's what people want to see. People
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the consumer wants to see the bullshit anymore. They don't want to,
No.
they want to see who you are and like going back to what you were saying, like when you make those videos that are just you fucking around on your cell phone,
Mm-hmm.
those ones do better because that's what people want to see.
Exactly. And I actually appreciate that because, to be honest with you, the more I can be myself on social media, on interviews, the more my songwriting
Yeah,
takes effect with that. The more I can say, oh, I don't need to hide in this way. I don't need to limit myself in
right.
this. I don't need to say, okay, this type of song can only be like a standard country song with a steel guitar. Like now that more people know my story and know where I come from and know my influences and know what I'm trying to do and I'm doing, then they're like, then when you put out your music that is a lot more original and different
Yeah,
than most songs, they appreciate it more because they're like, oh, because I understand where this dude's coming from.
right. Yeah, you're I've talked about it on this show a million and a half times. I'm not trying to beat anything to death, but like me as an individual, I feel like I was stifled for so long and had to like fit into certain boxes, if you will, that now that I
Mm-hmm.
don't have to, right? My content has gotten a million times better. My like obviously I care, right? But like
Mm-hmm.
my lack of care also makes it better. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
I don't give a shit what you think. Like we're gonna come in, we're gonna fucking kick down the door, and we're just gonna be us,
100%.
and that's it.
Yeah. That's all you can do.
No,
That's
yeah,
all. That's the only way it's going to work
yeah,
in this
and
business is if you're not a carbon copy.
right. And you know, when I started this, I wanted to. I thought I had to be that cookie cutter, fit into the Nashville sound, or I wasn't gonna make it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you know, I didn't want to piss anybody off. Yada yada yada. But the more we get into the guys and girls coming out of the red dirt scene in Texas and Oklahoma and all that, like
Mm-hmm.
my numbers since I don't want to say shifting, but like gearing stuff more towards that, it's been outrageous. Like it's so much, you know, because it's real. People want to hear the
Oh
Coetzels of the
yeah.
world. They don't want to hear. They don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily want to hear fucking Kelsey Ballerini again. You know?
No, I mean, I think there was an era for that specific type of sound,
Yeah.
but eras in music will always change.
Right. And I'm sure
And,
it'll shift.
you know,
It'll
it'll
shift.
shift again.
Yep.
You know, it's like 10 years, 15 years
Yeah.
of a sound. You know, like the past 15 years has been the Florida Georgia lines. That's kind of the sound that came out of like the mid 2000s. And
Right.
that's what people wanted.
Yeah.
But growing up in Southern Alabama, dude, most of our radio stations were all Texas country artists.
Nice.
So it was like Casey Donahue, Randy Rogers Band, Robert O'Keefe, or the Oklahoma guys like Cross Canadian Ragweed. Like it was
Yeah.
all those guys. So I always really appreciated the Texas and Oklahoma red dirt sound.
Yeah.
And that has made a huge sweep into
Yeah.
Nashville. And I'm all about it, man. I've
Yeah.
been waiting for a
Abs.
long time for this genre to become more mainstream. And
Yeah.
I am so for it because it's the songwriting that I personally really enjoy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it. I go out of my way to look for new red dirt artists and new
Yeah.
Texas country artists,
Yes,
and I
sir.
haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
Like I really go out of my way to go on Spotify, go on Instagram, look at the Texas. Like I watch your page religiously, and the guys that you put on there, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna check this dude out. I'm gonna check
Yeah.
this guy out. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's so cool that this is the era that's coming in because at the same time, it's also bringing blues and rock and roll back
It
because these
sure
are a lot
is.
of blues types patterns. There are a lot of rock patterns, and I'm all for that because I'm a '90s baby, bro.
Yeah.
'90s rock was the thing.
Yeah.
That was my stuff, bro. So yeah, it's exciting to see this new era coming into Nashville.
You know, let me
I'm
ask you
very
that
pumped.
because based on what you're saying, I don't think you and I are far off from the age group that we are, right?
Hmm.
Um, but like, you know, I think about it all the time, and like, you know, my dad busted my balls because my growing up, like, country music was not a thing, you know.
Right, right.
But like, you know, my parents listened to Skinnerd and the Allman Brothers and Molly Hatchet and 38 Special, like the list goes on, right?
Oh yeah.
All those bands, if they come out now, those are country bands.
Oh yeah, they'd be known as well. I
Well,
guess. Would Southern rock still be a genre, you think? Or do you think they would just
Like
be
that's the
listed
thing. I
as
don't know.
country?
They would definitely be under this country umbrella.
They would definitely play on country radio.
Right, 100%,
Yeah,
100%.
like XM stations and
Right.
terrestrial. Like, yeah, you would hear Skinnerd on 95.9 Nash
Right.
Icon type of thing.
Like I love Treaty Oak Revival, right?
Oh, those guys are great, aren't they?
But they are, and they sit under the country umbrella, but that's not a country band. Like,
Yeah, Red Dirt has it's like a subgenre of country music.
yeah, right. It's
So I
rock and roll
guess
with a with storytelling.
right, which I love, dude. I
Yeah,
think
I me
those guys
too.
are. I think Treaty Oak's fantastic. I like. Yeah, man, those guys are great.
Right,
They're
but
fun to
like
listen to.
I'm I'm super. I become really good friends with the Shane Smith and the Saints crew, and like
Oh,
Shane
those
doesn't.
guys are great
They're
too.
great, but like Shane doesn't consider himself a country band.
No, he considers himself like a blues rock artist.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's. I've been to a few seminars like in Nashville, and a lot of the big topics are genre bending.
I'm sure.
That has become such a huge, important topic in the labels and the songwriting now,
Right.
and they love it.
Yeah.
They're all about it. They love putting rap and hip hop and country together. They love the pop country's always been there. They're
Right.
the kind of the ones that started that.
Yeah.
As soon as pop started moving into some twang, other genres were like, well, we can do this too.
Right.
So, I guess there isn't much of a southern rock genre anymore
No. No.
or
It's
country rock. It's red dirt.
right. Right. And
Yeah.
it's almost like there's no genres at all anymore.
No, they even said it. They were like, look, like they were talking about like Hardy or someone, and they were like, yeah, Hardy's putting out half the album's country music, half the album's hard rock. And you
Right.
know what? It's cool. I
Right.
mean, it's not going to be, you will always have the Cody Johnsons of the world.
Yeah.
You'll always have those guys that will always stick to, they call it like neo-traditional, where it's
Yeah.
a newer sound, but it's still, even like John Party, he's more of a neo-traditional. He keeps it very more on the country side of things.
Yeah.
You'll always have those artists. So I think it's cool because I like how there are artists that are bold to bend genres and see if it works. And then there are also artists who are bold to say, you know what? This is traditional country music. I'm going to play traditional country music.
Right.
So I think that's really cool that there's
Yeah.
both sides of the ball game now.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's it's and it makes it fun for somebody like me.
Oh, same here, dude, because I
Yeah.
grew up to every genre of music possible. So now that I'm getting a touch here and there of all these different influences, I think it's cool, man. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah.
Now, how do you label it on stations? I have no idea.
Right.
I
Right.
think the easiest thing to do is just say country music and go
Right.
from there.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So what does your touring schedule look like for the next several months, rest of the year?
We're busy.
Yeah.
So I'll be in New Orleans, I'll be in Wisconsin. I'm pretty sure I'll be in New Mexico, which is cool. I've never been to Albuquerque before, so I'm playing a theater out there, and then I'm doing a run out there as well. I'll be down Pensacola, Florida, which is cool. So I'm pretty busy, man, because when I'm not going to be on the road, I'm going to be playing shows in
Nice.
Nashville, whether
Yeah.
it's showcases or writers' rounds, because I always have to keep testing songs out to see
Yeah.
what works and see what's going to do well. So yeah, I'm busy, man. And then obviously, like I said earlier, I'll be in the studio as well.
Yeah.
So I'll be basically on the road for 5 days, in the studio for 3 days, on the road for 5 days, from New Orleans to Wisconsin. So New Orleans, Wisconsin is the first two big trips. So I'm
Nice.
excited for that, man. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I'm super excited for what you're doing and everything you got going on, man. It's
Thank you,
awesome to
brother.
see. It's
Thank you,
great.
man.
It's great. So if you want, tell people how to keep in touch and keep in contact and follow along what you're doing.
Yeah, man. So it's DannySpiro.com, Spiro.com, Danny. and Danny Spiro, at Danny Spiro on Instagram, and Facebook is Danny Spiro Music. TikTok is Danny Spiro Music. YouTube is Danny Spiro. So yeah, you can see all my tour dates on the website. Sign up for the newsletter. It'll update you with everything that I'm doing with new songs, new music videos, the whole thing, man. I'm trying to be professional. Yeah, it's
Hey, well, aren't we all?
that's
I'm
also a
not.
full time job. But yeah, man, that's where you'll find me, and I have all the dates. Anything that's ticketed, you can go right through the website. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. We got to do this again soon when I'm feeling better. But
Yeah, I would love to,
well,
dude. I'm sorry you feel.
no,
Oh
it's
God,
totally fine. It's totally fine.
I know that feeling, man. I know that feeling.
I've been having a lot of rough nights lately, so it's like I was like, you know what? I woke up this morning, I was like, I am just going to take these few hours before I have to go to my day job, and I'm just going to chill. And then
Yeah.
I was like, you fall back to sleep, you do all these things, and you're like, shit, like, fuck, where am I?
Oh, I've
But
been there, dude. When you wake up in a panic.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Oh
all good.
yeah.
Like I'm so glad we got to chat, man. It's
Yeah,
awesome to hear
dude.
from
Thank
you,
you.
and what I'm gonna I'll shoot you a message with my number so you have it so that we can
That'd be awesome, dude.
be a little more direct.
Yeah, hell yeah,
All
I
right.
appreciate that because I've been a big fan of your page, man.
Well, I
So I
appreciate it. I
really do
really do.
appreciate you having me on there, man. I'm excited.
Anytime, anytime. We'll talk soon, bud, and I'll let you know when this is all coming out and all that shit.
Thank you, brother. Sounds
All right,
good.
buddy. Sounds good, buddy. See you soon.
Thanks again, man.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Well, there you have it, guys. Our conversation with Danny. Danny, what like just a fun episode. Like I said, I go back to it and I'm like, damn, like there was some really good stuff in there, and it just like I said, I suck, dude. Like I do this all by myself for the most part. So again, Danny, I apologize. I owe you the world, buddy. So thank you so much for being here. We got some cool shit happening this weekend, so stay tuned for that. And then our episode on Tuesday with our good buddy Drew Harkle is gonna come out. So I think Drew's is Tuesday, but if that's anyway. So thanks, guys. We will. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you for our next episode. That's out, and then all weekend. Cheers, guys.